So starting where I left off, again, the second theme was digital formative assessments help teachers to drive their instruction. They were being able to watch immediately like what their students were doing, and they were able to go fix and adjust what they were doing immediately instead of them working on a paper pencil and then seeing at the end, oh, you did that wrong. Because really, um, using a formative for learning, not using it to assess their learning, how much they've learned. The third theme was digital formative assessments give teachers and students immediate feedback, and this was a huge one. Technology-based formative assessments give immediate feedback, instantaneous feedback. See what the students are doing wrong while they are taking the formative. Students get immediate feedback. So again, this was a really big one that was repeated a lot. And again, it's kind of the same, saying the same thing, but I saw it a lot. Now, while all those things were very good, I kept seeing that, especially on the survey, teachers didn't use it very much. They gave formatives once a week and maybe they used technology once a month. So I got to see some of these issues that they felt, um, especially with the math, which um, I saw more issues with the math teachers using technology as opposed to the other teachers. But some of those issues were students prefer to do their math on paper. They can't see the student's thought process, they just see if they get the right or wrong answer. So many options for formatives, hard to research and look through them all. So I got a maybe sense of a little bit of overwhelmed. Students can be on other sites. So the social studies teachers expressed how they can flip to another page and copy and paste. Sometimes the technology and the internet's not working. It can be kind of time consuming and then hard to create math related digital formatives due to math symbols. So those were some of the perspectives that I saw about the issues with digital formative assessments. So some of my conclusions as I sifted through all of the data. So the main purpose of this action research study was to determine teachers' thoughts on how technology-based formative assessments really impact their teaching and their students' achievements. So how can increasing the use of digital formative assessments help teachers and students? Um, so through collecting and analyzing all my data, I was able to see and gain the insight of how the teachers feel about digital formative assessments, including their pros and their cons. Which again, when you read through research, it's like, oh yes, this is so great, everything's wonderful. But then we kind of get all these ideas, and then we often stop and don't think about, okay, well, what are the cons of this? So it was nice to kind of see, yes, there are pros to this technology, but what can we do to make this better? So participants overall shared that technology was efficient and effective, and helped give their students feedback. They shared that they could help give their students immediate feedback. It helps them collect data and create graphs and figure out, oh, on this question, so many students missed this, and this is exactly what they missed, which takes a lot of time. So for technology to do that for you is amazing. And then it helps you drive their instruction. If you get this immediate feedback and this immediate data, you can change your instruction and alter it in ways that you need to. Um, and with all the positive things said about these formatives on digital platforms, there was still bound to be a need of support for teachers. Um, like what tools to use for certain subjects, or maybe the district to have a more like, you know, um, PDs or more um, guidance on that, because they often provide guidance for the content and for summative, but they leave the formatives more up to the teachers, and maybe that's something that should be supported as well. So table 6 shows how my research findings relate to the literature that I reviewed, and the summaries of the research findings align directly to the beginning themes, but then a few things were found to be a little bit different. Um, so the first thing was the relation to teacher benefits. So teachers have an abundance of expectations and requirements that they are held to. And formative assessments are one of those things that are super, super important in education. And using technology to formatively assess students can benefit teachers in multiple ways. Many digital platforms will immediately grade, give you results narrowed in very specific results, and this saves teachers an abundance of time. And the ease of grading allows teachers to quickly and effectively drive their instruction. Um, and appropriately driving instruction helps to ensure that students are receiving the information that they need. So the relation to literature, formative assessments have been an important piece of education for some time. Spector talks about how the purpose of formative assessment hasn't changed due to technology. Just because technology's come around doesn't mean formative assessments have totally changed. It still has the same meaning. Um, it is to collect quick and immediate data about students' understanding as one of the advantages. And technology helps to do that. Digital formatives provide teachers and students with information that informs and supports daily instruction. So just this daily, you're seeing these things daily, and digital formatives help to do that quickly. So the second theme was kind of the student benefits. Self-assessment and feedback are essential to student learning, and technology helps to support those things through digital formative assessment. Digital formatively, digitally form. I'm so sorry. Digital formative assessments allow students to receive immediate feedback on their progress. And then technology is a huge piece in the 21st century, and actually using that um, technology piece in lessons can help to engage and motivate students as well. Um, so the relation to literature, Bagot and Bagot and Spector discover how technology can support formative assessment to enhance students' learning performance, learning attitude, and learning motivation. So it can help to do a lot of things. And also, technology has been found to help provide students with individualized learning experiences. When they get that immediate feedback, it kind of helps to tailor that learning to them. And it's also emphasized how important immediate feedback to students is. One of my articles saying a week or even a day's delay in providing feedback can jeopardize the effectiveness of the feedback in terms of improving learning and performance. So that immediate feedback is super, super important because we lose kind of the purpose of formatives if we takes weeks to get it back. And then the last um, theme that was related and found was teachers' attitudes, kind of that aspect of, are they using it? And I found that teachers really like technology, but there was a few things that were holding them back, and it was very interesting to find. So while teachers expressed the usefulness of technology, they also expressed their issues with it as well. They shared how technology can be useful in collecting data, providing feedback, and guiding instruction. However, it was found that the majority of participants don't use technology for formative assessments as much as they would like, and definitely didn't use it as frequently as they formatively assessed. So a lot of teachers were still using paper pencil formatives and giving their kids their results back days, maybe a week later. So a few of these reasons include why they don't use it as often: an overwhelming number of formative platforms, digitally formative platforms. They felt like they had to sift through all these different things and figure out what worked the best. And I even remember in an interview, a specific teacher said, I just want to know what works best for geometry sometimes. Like, is someone just please tell me? Um, Sometimes the internet and has issues or technology issues. Specifically, a teacher said that their Chromebooks were not the greatest and buttons were missing, mouses didn't work, those sort of things. And ability for students to be on other sites while taking the formative. If you can't control what the student's on, sometimes it's not as effective. And the lack of support teachers receive with digital formative platforms. So the relation to the literature that I read through, Martin found that there are a number of teachers who feel overwhelmed with the large amount of technology tools that can be used to collect formative data. Teachers felt that their school should commit to a feasible amount of tools and be provided with professional development on those tools. As well, Ramsey and Duffy found that teachers felt that districts do not provide provide teachers with the appropriate